Okay, we are live. Um, there's,
Um, I oh. So
there's probably no one here yet, but
I think that when we both talk at once, then it blots one of us out. That's what happened last time. So
okay. So we will take turns, just in case. Hey, hey.
um, yeah. So I am the bartending, photo boothing, rental guy. Just kidding. All right.
Okay, yeah. I gotta get rid of this mustache. Like, I gotta trim this facial hair more. It's looking the mustache. I think it's like a pervy situation going on. I don't know.
You just need to add maybe like a captain's hat. A few photo booth props, and you're good. Like you'll be the captain then. But I'm currently the captain, so.
Just in case, tents and events. How are things going with you? Oh, and we'll make in the future we'll do it a bit later because I noticed in the comments of the video there was a bunch of people saying it's too early. We're all working and stuff like that. But I thought it'd be good for us because we're at our places of work, and then it makes it. At least we don't have to like go home because at home it's hard, with the family. I have a difficult time doing anything like this, kind of like later in the day. But maybe we can make it a bit later because for us it's still earlier than people out east, right? So I think for us, I don't know. We'll try to do it like 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern time next time, and that might work. Might work better. So with you, Lee.
Everything. I don't know, just growing, right? So I
Right.
mean, I getting bigger and basically dealing with growing pains. I never really thought about it much this year. I was like, oh yeah, I'll hit goals. It'll be good. COVID hit. I was like, I don't know, and uh, and I had to readjust like so many different times during the season. So lots is new. Lots is new.
So
Yeah.
I was watching like an Elon Musk thing, and he was basically saying that uh, it's much harder to grow. Um, oh, Hugh Hefner. So it's much harder to grow like scale. Like you can do one thing, or you can have an idea. That's easy. It's easy to design a rocket, but it's hard to build a rocket, and even harder to scale the building. So it's like with the events, like it's easy to come up with some cool ideas, and it's easy to get a rental or two. Um, but what about having like thousands of rentals? So yeah, that's what my channel is all about. I think at least that's what I want it to be about is scaling, trying to get as big as possible. And you have that same kind of attitude. You want to get big. I know a lot of I talk to a lot of people, and surprisingly, a lot of people. I thought everybody wants to get big, but actually, a lot of people are like cool with what they're at. So I found that kind of surprising.
I think it's all about getting out of your comfort zone because people get comfortable, right? They're scared of the work, they're scared of the commitment, and fear will destroy you. And that's one thing you have to do is just look fear right in the eye and just say, I can't swear on here, but F you, right? And just go for it, right? Every move that I make, I am completely scared. And I look back and I'm like, thank God I did that, right? So fear. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think fear is a major, like it and like it's still not real. Like it doesn't exist. Like okay, I get it. If you're like in World War II or something, and you're about to like cross over the line, like there's some genuine concern there. But I think a lot of the times, like what's stopping everybody from going to the next step or whatever is just like a fear thing. Like so, I had a comment the other day, and they said how do you transition from small to big? But that's a weird question because like I think you just get more jobs and then you naturally transition. You hire more people, you get more stuff. you get more jobs. That's the answer.
Uh,
So
yeah, like one step at a time, right? You take each step progressively gets you bigger. I mean, unless you have like an injection of money and a business plan and then someone experienced on board, that's the only way to really kind of get out there, and like an infinite advertising budget. But other than that, like, you have
yeah.
to baby steps, right? And I think that this kind of all of our channels, like all the people, show all those different steps, and it's kind of cool, right?
Right, right. And there's a question there for you. When do you see yourself in a small bay or even a few storage garage, Lee? So that's interesting because Lee and I were talking about that, but I'll let him talk.
Well, if people don't know, me and Les are like pretty good business friends. We talk on a daily, and I kind of see him as a business mentor. So I'm constantly asking him, questions about his bay. And if you follow his channel, you should ask him too, because he knows it all, right? And he shows me. I really, really, really want a bay, and some days, yes, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start. I'm looking, and I'm gonna partner with someone. I've made all these plans, and then it's like, well, what do I really need, right? It's like, can I make it work? My garage is packed. Okay, yes. My bay is packed. Well, maybe I should get another bay so that I can afford to buy the moving truck and then the bigger tent. And because once you get into that space, then I mean, if it costs you $1,200 a month, that's $1,200 a month that you can't put towards inventory. And so that is my dilemma. So I want it to be next year, for the rental season. But if it's not that year, then, or if it's not next year, I'm going to get a couple bays. And then the year after that, I will transition in. I have to get the bigger vehicle, and I have to get those tents. I mean, it doesn't make sense to have the bay if you don't have the big tent to put it in. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Inventory at the end of the day is what generates directly sales. So for an event company, right? So if you have a couple tents, so if you buy more tents, you get more sales, you get more money. If you get a space, you're just hey Carlos, you're just waste. I mean, technically, like it's something you need. But I think you can still, spend another year without it, and then then you get to put your money into more tents, into more chairs, into more tables, which you need. I know you need them. You like myself, you sub rent stuff sometimes. You have to because you're short on it. So you definitely, and by the way, the reason we're close, Lee and I, yeah, is hey, we're both in Western Canada. Like no one else is in Western Canada. That's why we're like, hey, you're in Western Canada. I'm in Western. I can literally throw a stone to his town. I can drive there. I can't do that to Toronto out east. Or in the States. I mean, especially now, like there's a couple really cool places I want to visit in the States, and I can't because obviously things are shut down, etc. So, hey guys, we are shut down in Toronto. 10 people inside, 25 outside max. Yeah, I know, Carlos. I know, but Toronto is the worst, by the way. At least, like out west, we're like less population. People aren't so like crazy. Not yet, anyway.
Use those small numbers to your benefit. I mean, I'm a small company, and I'm just outside of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan in Canada, and our numbers are at 30 right now. And I couldn't be happier because I don't have that much inventory. And so all these big weddings are changing into little weddings. So everything went out for me this summer constantly. So just utilize those numbers. The bigger companies, they put down the prices of their pop-up tents because that's what was going this year. So it's like, okay, like awesome, just make it work. If you're a smaller company, COVID, sorry, I shouldn't say the words, but this now is the time and to get all these smaller things. Or you can buy just a few chairs instead of having like 300 chairs, because you can fill someone's wedding with like 10 chairs because there's only 10 people allowed at the event. So what's 10 Chiavari chairs, the price of that, versus 300 Chiavari chairs. So make it work in your advantage. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's hard for Carlos. I think Carlos is the guy who has the picnic tables and like he services restaurants, which I'm guessing might close in Toronto. And Lee, they can't hear you. I can hear you, but apparently JC can't hear you.
My mic's on.
I can hear you. Yeah, see what's going on there.
If you can hear me, they should be able to hear me. They can only hear you. Someone, I can't see any messages from anyone. So,
all right, if you can't hear, okay. So yeah, we can hear you. All right, so JC, you're crazy.
I'm clicking on.
But yeah, I think Carlos was doing the. I think that was the guy that was doing the picnic. I might be wrong. But he has he just rents out picnic tables and umbrellas. So I mean, if the restaurant's closed, if the restaurant's closed, that's gonna be tough, But I know he was busy, with the spring hit. He told me because I think it was Instagrammed him, and he said that he was super busy, and he had like all his stuff. Close the YouTube window and reopen it. I think Brian is sending a message to JC. Okay, yeah, JC saying he's back. Yeah. All right. Okay, so yeah, I know what happens because if we both talk, it's mute the other person. So we'll just try to really take turns talking, and so that way it's not muting. But anyway, so yeah, so it's all good. So yeah, I think that instead of a commercial space, you can always get like a little shipping container and a storage place that's way cheaper. You get extra space. Yeah, you got to kind of drive there and stuff like that. But that might be the next logical step if you need the space for sure. If you for sure need the space, but want ultra save money, get a little bit of a shipping container. It's $200 versus $3,000 for a bay or $2,000 or whatever. So I think that's the next little step. If you need a little bit of extra space, get a shipping container.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Do you have any new products, Lee? Did you bring out any new products? What's going on on that end?
What do I have that's new? Just a few types of chairs, like getting more into upscale stuff. Before I only offered black tablecloths. Now I have like 5 different styles of tablecloths, but it's all sub-rented.
Right.
I don't know, just more stuff. But basically the first year, I guess that's last year, I bought a bunch of used stuff. So it's all crap. And this year, everything I bought was brand new because I actually had money for once. So it was a lot of replacing all my crap that I was embarrassed of with real good products that can rival any rental. Well, it's brand new products, right? So I don't know.
Right. So it's funny you say that because I'm sending you some of my chairs. So basically this morning I was packaging for shipping some white resin chairs. Lee's getting into white resin chairs, which by the way are if you don't have white resin chairs, they're pretty popular out here. And the problem was I was using used boxes, so I didn't realize how much and the boxes were for a different brand of chair. They're just for regular chairs. So it was a terrible taping job. Anyways, I cut myself. It's a tiny cut, but you can't probably see with the resolution. But I was going as fast as I can, and the shipping guys they're not even here. They're supposed to be here at 10 a.m. They're still not here. I called them, so apparently they are coming, Lee. By the way, but anyways, I had a fun time, and I feel bad because these are used chairs. So here you're talking about getting new stuff, and I'm sending you used stuff. So hopefully they'll be all right for you.
You know what? It's not many though. It's just like I said, with all this stuff going on, people are buying renting stuff in lower numbers. So yeah.
Right. And actually I'm waiting for those shipping guys. Every time I hear a truck, I freak out because I think they're coming to pick up. But my camera system on my phone isn't freaking loading for some reason. Because I have cameras in the back, but they're not loading. So whatever. This camera system. TELUS. It's TELUS. I don't know. Is TELUS in the States? Probably not. Alibaba is good for China, but Frank, isn't China all weird now? Like, what's going on with China? Like, are there tariffs or like delays or because I know like Trump doing some crazy stuff. I mean, uh, I don't mind Trump actually, but I know we want to be tough on China, and so like, is that has that affected shipping? I don't actually know anybody who's recently shipped anything from China, so I'm wondering if if that's affected shipping from China. If you know, let us know. That's why we're kind of hesitant for buying direct from China.
Well, also, I mean, it all depends on what tier of stuff you want to buy, right? Because Alibaba's not really worth your time unless you're investing $5,000 or more on a purchase, right? So, generally,
Right. Yeah, like you needed 10 chairs. So that's why it kind of worked out. We sent him
you
uh
said 16.
so Carlos just got a container from China. So that's good. That gives me hope because at the end of the day, China's not a bad choice. Like we should look because Lee and I want to really we're like thinking about expanding. That's really again, that's what our channels are about, expanding, growing our businesses. We're thinking of getting bigger tents, but actually direct from China might be an option from Costco, right? COSCO. That might be a decent option. We should really look into that because like we have time now and I bet you the prices are way lower.
Les is kind of talking like we haven't. I'm pretty sure we both have been looking into it already.
Right,
But
right,
yeah.
right. Okay, so inflatable carnivals. I have a 20 by 40 storage with electricity for 165 bucks a month. So yeah, that's an example. Inflatable. How tall are your ceilings? I always ask that, especially because I think obviously you have bounce houses based on your name. So sometimes if you're setting those bounce houses up, you probably want a tall ceiling to like dry them out or something. I don't know. So that'd be interesting to note how tall your ceiling is. But hey, there you go, $165 a month for like a little storage area, and 40 feet is huge actually. So it's not little at all. So yeah, I mean, like, are there any storage units around your area, Lee?
Like storage bays
Yeah,
everywhere.
like storage lockers.
There's one like a block away. There's one
Yeah.
like right in the city. I'm in like a little town that's just like 5 minutes outside of the main city. So it's like a hop, skip, and a jump away. So, but there's one like right down the street from me. I just want to mention that guy, Inflatable Carnival. He's called the Corny Carney. He's awesome. He does bounce house stuff, and he really he knows his stuff. He calls himself a newbie, but he knows his stuff.
Yeah, I seen him on Facebook. He definitely has like a certain type of branding, and he like keeps it consistent. Yeah, I have trouble connecting who's who, to their names, to their real names. But I think you're just saying something like that a second ago. So I was like, yeah, that's the corny,
The
carnival, corny carnal, carnal, dude.
Step right up, step right up.
Yeah. No, it's good branding, especially with bounce house type stuff because it's all like kids and
Yeah.
So I never wanted to do bounce houses. So 10 feet tall. Yeah, maybe 12 or something. That's a problem. Like we have almost 20 feet. We have 20 feet here, and it's nice to have 20. Even when you're just like lifting up those tent poles or something, like it's nice to get a little bit of it's nice to have a little bit of height, and also you don't pay for height. I mean, it might be kind of incorporated into your price, but people pay for square footage, not cubic footage. Lee, you got a shipping container like rented right beside your garage.
Yeah, I do. And well, that's my drop off pickup bay, right? So I'm all like I basically run everything myself except when my staff comes. So like literally the other day I was taking down a tent, and there was 3 people that came and dropped off within 15 minutes, all while I was in midst of this tent coming down and like the wind blowing, and all I had to do was send them my text and I could see them right from my phone on the security cameras. They put it away. Like it's worked great for me all season, other than when like 7 people come all at once back to back, and then the bay's full, and then I have to rush home and unload the bay so that more customers can come back. That's my only problem with that. But
Well, that's actually epic because you literally have like almost a self-serve system. And I was always like worried about you because you were putting so much time into each client. But like literally in the span of like, hey, you created this self-service system for small drop-offs, which we kind of do here. Sometimes we leave this unattended because it's pretty much me in the wintertime, except for maybe like Fridays or Saturdays when there's a lot of like a few deliveries in the off season. But I just leave it unattended, and I have a little sign there, and it just says like, drop it off here. If you have any issues, call. There's a camera right here looking at you, and we've kind of started doing that a bit more, and it works. It seems to work just fine. And then we warn people, hey, like if we're unattended, we'll have a little spot here. You can just drop it off here. Again, there's cameras, so don't steal anything, please. They can obviously see the cameras. But with you, not only do you have that like self-serve shipping container, but you also have like Bookable. Now you have a shopping cart system on your website, which pretty much like automates that like just like that.
And it's so amazing because before, I'm big on advertising in classifieds and so forth. And, in the classifieds, there's people always like, can I rent 2 tables? Can I rent a chair? It's like, no, go away. But now it's just like the order came in. They already picked their time. All they have to do is show up. So it's all automated. So I'm getting a lot of those really tiny orders that no one wants to waste their time with. But I don't need to because Bookable wastes its time with that for me. So
Right. So Bookable is what Lee uses if anybody's interested. But I think you can pretty much do a shopping cart. Like a lot of things have shopping cart systems. I think Bookable is more like it works for rentals because it's like Bookable is kind of rental related per se. But like I've had a lot of luck. I've tried Shopify. Last when the pandemic hit, I did this like we sold these little like packages, and I use Shopify, and actually Shopify has a very, very easy shopping cart system. I highly recommend it. I don't really know if it would work for rentals. I don't think it would, but if you're selling Shopify is so easy. Like I was shocked at, like one day you can have a website up and without any like coding, obviously, just like ultra easy.
So this is the bay. Sorry, I know we're talking about Shopify, but I just wanted to show the bay. So the customers, they just come in here and drop off. There's a few things here. I haven't unloaded it. They can come drop off barrels or tables. And then, I just got a little sign there. So when they arrive, they come and text me. And yeah, there's a little security camera somewhere up there that, I don't know. Can't even see. Oh yeah, up there.
Lee,
Yeah.
K Bahat has a question for you. What happened to Chuck Cherry?
Chuck Cherry. Well, I'm a photo booth owner. I'm a rental company owner, and I'm a bartending company owner. And Check Cherry, it's a photo booth program for photo booth rentals and services. And basically, I was trying to make it do both. So do a rental company and a photo booth company. And there was a lot of hoops that I was having to jump through to make Check Cherry work for the rental side as well as the photo booth side. So I just had to, I couldn't go forward with it any longer. I'm still subscribed to Check Cherry, and they have updated their system to be a little bit better for that stuff. But ultimately, it's still like a photo booth program. So if you're in the rentals, something like Bookable is way better than Check Cherry, even though Check Cherry has more options when it comes to automating emails and so forth. Anyways, it just didn't work for me when it came to the rental side. So
I think Bookable is like better funded, much better funded than Chuck Cherry, just based on like their look. Like you can tell Bookable has some major money behind them, rather than Chuck Cherry, which is kind of self-funded, I'm guessing. But
yeah. So Bookable's like I think that they're in like the Netherlands, but they've like partnered with Webly. That's where I do my website through. They Squarespace, like all the big players in like easy websites, so that they can integrate. And Czech Cherry, I think, is smaller. They're from the States. They're nice guys. Like I had a webcam meeting with them before I did my whole video on Czech Cherry, and they're great for support. Like you ask them for something, and they're like, okay, well, we'll work on that. You know, like you directly talk to Matt, who's the coder, and then there's oh my gosh, I don't know why I can't think of the other guy's name, but Judd. So Matt and Judd, those guys are Czech Cherry. They're awesome.
Right. So they're nice guys, but at the end of the day, there's some functionality issues. So yeah, Chris here appreciates the self-serve idea, and he's like kind of all for it. And then obviously, just in case Tencent Events is saying like, you know, like there's issues with every, you know, type of rental system you have, and he's saying, you know, do you change your code? So I'm presuming like, you know, like we just leave the back door open, like the big bay door open, when we're gone for people to drop off. If there's just like 3 people dropping off, we know they're just small items. If there's no red flags on those people, we'll just leave it open. And I mean, people are generally like, they're not really interested in stealing tables or chairs. You know, they want if you're going to steal something, you want electronics, you want cash, you know. Anyways, I'll let you talk.
Well, plus they have you have their credit card on file that you can charge. I always take a picture of their ID. Like, what's more personal than like grabbing a picture of their ID? It's like, you don't mess with me because I've got you. Like, I've got you, pal. And they know that. Like, they're all of them. So even the disrespectful ones. Like, I've had like, I shouldn't say gang members, but I've had questionable characters rent for me, and they've always they follow the rules. Like the system has worked so far, and I mean, of course, there's always going to be one person, but is the juice worth the squeeze? Like, would I having to staff my garage all summer, or having a system where someone might take a chair and then I call the police, whatever, right? So.
Yeah, the other thing you could do is have like an inner gate. So have that shipping container, and then what about like having an inner gate so that people, or like even divide it up into like 2 sections. So one is for like one client and the other is for another. Like technically, you could probably divide it up into more if you have enough space for it.
Can I go?
Yeah.
That is my plan in the future. Once I get a warehouse space, I still plan to keep this as one of the options just in case, because I'm not going to grow into this huge company instantly, right? I plan to have like maybe 3 of these little shipping containers and put little Wi-Fi cameras in each one of them. And for the code, yes, I've got a little keypad that people put the code in to get into the bay, and that gets changed every time I come back and unload the rentals. So yes, you can change the code.
Yeah, and I think for like 3 main items, we get a lot of these pickups too. We get people picking up 12, 15, 20, 25, 50, 60 chairs, 3 tables, and a pop-up tent. And those are the type of rentals that are perfect for self-serve. And we get quite a bit of them. So actually, I'm going to try to like add to the self-serve idea, like something in the back that like it's gated off or something, you know. That might be not a bad idea, but I think I can do something in the back that would cater to the kind of the self-serve stuff. The self-serve stuff would be good after hours too, because I think you take those returns after hours, which are awesome, because some people work during the day, they're busy, and they're like, I would love to return at 9 p.m. But for us, we have business hours. You really can't do that. So I'm thinking maybe that's a potential in the future. I have some sort of storage unit just outside here. I don't know, but self-serve is huge. I mean, because like you said, you don't have to pay someone to deal with it. And actually, clients appreciate it too. They don't want you just standing there watching and like making sure like, you know what I mean? Like they don't care if you're there or not. Like most of the time, like sometimes, yeah, if you're, I don't know, an older lady or something, like a grandma, like maybe she'll want a hand. But otherwise,
happens often, right? So
yeah.
Sorry, I won't interrupt again. I know the sound, so
no worries. Go. It's your turn.
No, I was just the
Good.
old lady or old grandpa. I had an event this summer where the 70-year-old man rolls up in the big trailer and he's grabbing 250 chairs, 4 barrels, like all this crap. And he's like, well, I helped these young bucks set up a 40 by 100 tent. And it's like, what? What is going on here? And so I made sure and like, okay, you call me when you return and I will help you with this. Your kids are dicks. I didn't say that, but I thought it. And I still think it. So I can't hear you, Les. You're gone.
Yeah. Sorry, I was whispering because I was reading the comments. Just in case, was saying like have a code like Airbnb, and that's the thing. Like people are like, oh, you can't have a surf because there's a fear factor. Oh, don't I'm kind of scared of doing this to self surf. Someone's gonna. There's always that fear factor, right? We were talking about this the other day, and I mean, people have Airbnb. They're renting out their basements, their homes. So if they can do that, what's wrong with us renting out a few tables and having them self serve?
Yeah, quit the fear, everyone. Quit the fear. Throw it away. Who cares? You lose a couple chairs, you move on. The system works. You're saving money in the long run. Screw the fear. Screw the fear of everything. Screw the fear of permits. Just go get the permit. If you don't know how to take the credit card, well, just I shouldn't say that. I'm kind of like going off on a tangent. I got that word from you, tangent. But don't be scared.
Yeah, and yeah, so exactly. Fear is a big thing. We talked about this the other day. We recognize that, like, and I was actually thinking the other day in terms of like again, the topic of today. It seems like it's growing. Growing the business. That might be the topic always, but this is interesting. We need to change our voicemails. And the reason for that is because we have our own voice in the voicemail. Do you see what I'm saying? We need a nice lady's voice.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. That'd be a great example of transitioning to a bigger business. Like a nice lady's voice. That's it. And I think that would really help because then the companies, it's not like you feel a bit bigger when you call someone and it's like you listen to the voicemail and it's a nice lady's voice and then you talk to someone,
I'm going to do that today, actually, but I'm not going to get my wife to do it. I'm going to reach out to someone on Fiverr and get them to do a professional voiceover on my voicemail. Why not, right? I think that's probably the best way to do it. And maybe we can get into that topic too about, making Fiverr, reaching out to get people to do work for you, right? So that you can look more professional.
Yeah, Frank, I'm glad you were thinking the same thing. It's such a little step, but as soon as you have that professional voicemail, I think it's like, and I think you're right, Fiverr. The funny thing is I was just on Fiverr like an hour ago, and I was paying for a graphic for one of our signs because we are renting out portable signs. It's a side gig. It's a side gig, but it's still a rental, so it's still kind of is focused as like a rental. But it's a side gig because it's renting outside signs. It's kind of a whole different thing. But yeah, I was just on Fiverr getting the graphic design, $30. And that's funny because like you're right. I should go on Fiverr too, and because the wife it's good with the wife, but unless she's like in the industry, you can tell like it's not like ultra professional voicemail. So I think Fiverr is a good choice.
Well, and then you don't have to bother your wife, right? Like literally, when it comes to my business, the only thing I can make my wife do is make decor, and other than that, there's no interest whatsoever. So it's almost a burden to do anything. So
I think they'll be interested when there's millions of dollars, kind of like, or maybe not. Maybe they won't. Wives are interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. Like it's actually good not to work with your wife sometimes. I feel like it's kind of like you don't want too much of of each other. Fiverr is a great resource. Okay, Fiverr is a great resource. Long Island, hey, but it's not $5 anymore. It's actually getting more and more expensive. Like every time I go there, it's like $30. It's like I don't know. I want less money. I wish they're really not sticking to that five. And I get it, like $5. How is anybody going to make money off $5? But so it's not really fair to like be just like getting all these services for $5. But it has to me. It's really it seems to have gotten like a bit more expensive. So Yeah. But hey, if you're not on Fiverr, there are other interesting websites out there. Another one is Upwork. Kind of like Fiverr, you just go on and you ask people to do stuff, but there's no really like minimums or limits, and you can charge by the hour, or they can charge by the hour, or like a fixed price. And there's a lot of people from like India, Philippines that are doing services for like extremely cheap. So you can get a lot done. Upwork, it's either Elance or Upwork. That they recently bought each other out. I think it's called Upwork. It used to be Elance. Yeah, I think that's it.
It's
Uh,
up.
yeah, Odesk is another example of that, but I found Upwork kind of has more. Now, it takes a little bit of time to search through the people. You definitely want to choose the right people. Frank, thanks for the $5. That's awesome.
You got a super chat? I can't see anything that's going on, so
And I'm sorry, Lee.
yeah.
Hey, so what's the definition of a podcast? Like I don't actually know the difference between podcast and the live stream. I think a podcast is pre-recorded.
Sound.
Go on, sorry.
A podcast is sound, right? So basically, this is you take the audio from this and you'd put it into a podcast. So yeah, so basically, if we're doing this and we want to make it into a podcast, we don't want to do anything where you need visuals. You want to be very descriptive when you talk. So
Right. And speaking of $5, that's exactly what kind of goes with the Fiverr, the Fiverr theme. Actually, you should make it. We should make a website like Fiverr, but it's actually $5. Like, that'd be kind of funny. It'll be like kind of like a gag website that could technically take off. I mean, it's crazy. Like some websites have like if you think of the guy who invented Fiverr, like look at him now. Like how many millions of dollars flows into that website? It's absolutely insane.
well,
Um,
and that was probably the business model for them all along. It's like, okay, well, we do $5 and we're gonna blow up, right? And then it's just like, we'll call it $5, and then all these people, once it's a big thing, everyone wants to be on Fiverr giving their services, and it's like, okay, well, you start at $5, and then it's smart. It's smart.
right, right. They do kind of control you. It's a little bit like YouTube, though. I know there's a lot of people that get kicked out for weird things. There was a guy who used to do like testimonials or infomercials. I forget his name, but he was really, really popular, and they just kicked him out. I think there was some like issue. So I don't know. I feel like they're a bit. They're kind of like YouTube. They're kind of like they're kind of. I don't want to use the word communists, but they're very liberal. They if they don't like what you're saying, they'll ban you. You know what I mean?
But you could literally do anything with it. There was like a news story here in Saskatchewan of someone who was like sending like letter bombs to someone else, and they hired someone on Fiverr to be their alibi, and like with a video thing, and it became this whole thing.
Right, right, right. Another cool business. There's too many of these. They're like everywhere, but I thought it's like pretty pandemic proof. This is kind of like going freaking out right now, but whatever. I don't really care. I know her, and I know her. She's yeah. But I'll call her. It's actually better to ignore clients sometimes because they appreciate you more. They're like, "Oh, you're so busy." It's like, "Yes, I'm busy." Like, and they appreciate you. But yeah, during be yourselves. Be yourselves. So having a microbrewery would be epic. Like every microbrewery I go to seems to be like so slick. Like they have like the bar out front, the lights. Everybody's like cool. I'm like, man, I want to be part of this like culture. And I figured like everybody's buying beer during the pandemic. Like that's. I have a buddy who works here occasionally in the summertime. His name is Oz, and he works for the brewery full time and then part time for us and on the weekends and stuff like that. And he tells me he was like he was working overtime during the pandemic. He works for Big Rock, which is a brewery here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. But I mean, I don't know. Oh, and speaking of the pandemic, the other thing, like, what are your items that are going out most during the pandemic? Because that's an important thing. We're all rental companies here. what's popular during the pandemic?
Are you talking to me or them or just
I'm talking to you.
Okay,
Them
of course.
too, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, little items are very popular this year, like projectors. Didn't see that coming. Good thing I had bought some because everyone was having that backyard, doing that backyard movie and so forth. So calls for projectors have been crazy. Another little item, lights, because people can't have events inside; they're having all their events outside. So everyone needs those Costco lights or the string lights. So many phone calls for those. Those are just two of the items right off the top that I know couldn't even keep them in stock if I tried. I quit answering phone calls for them before I went automated. So
I think also for me, like tents, because everybody moved from outdoor venues from indoor venues to outdoor venues. For me, I know you just got into tents, so you couldn't like really feel out if it's just the natural flow of things for your business, or if it was like this year. Even though there maybe weren't like it was almost an equal amount, it was like shockingly like considering how many other things were going out. Tents were still very very strong, and so that completely saved us. And also like it kind of like it is kind of weird, but like I kind of fell in love with tents. Like obviously it's not true love. I don't actually love them, but we really got into a flow. Like having 3 tents in a day, like kind of 20 by 40s or something like that. It's kind of a nice flow. You do one, you drive to the next, you do one, you drive to the next. And then also, not only is it a nice flow, you look at how much money you made, you're like, whoa, that's a decent amount of money. So we really like the tents. Yeah, Frank's saying that too. Tents and patio heaters for businesses for their customers, I hope. And yeah, I agree. Tents was really good for us.
Yeah, patio heaters was another item that at the end of the season was very, very much in demand. At the start of the season, yeah, and through the middle of the season, no, they sat. But towards the end of the season, it was just call after call after call after call. So, and an easy upsell. It's like, hey, you want to be cold at your event or you want to be warm? What do you want? What do you want? Tell me what you want.
Right. Right. No, exactly. That's a good point. Chris actually is saying like, do you guys sell stuff? And we've been in talks a lot about potentially selling stuff, especially like in like tents. We thought, why don't we sell? And up in Canada, there really aren't too many tent sellers. They're all resellers, or at least most of them. And we're like, maybe we could be like distributors for someone who has 10 products from the States. So ship a bunch up, and then we would like either sell it or distribute it or buy it as needed. And we were in talks for that. Hey, you're gone.
Hey, I'm here. Just wait. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Just wait. A phone call came in, so I'm just trying to. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
When you're so yeah, Justin Case said I do snow plowing in the winter. Oddly enough, I do have some snow removal work, and I subcontracted it all out. Okay, so for example, I do a school, and I mean sometimes I go there to just check on things, or like I when I go there to check on things, I'll spray some snow melt in places, just walk around, do a little bit of fine work. But because I subcontract most of it out, it doesn't bring in too much money. And the construction blankets were really good, but like I sold most of mine when the pandemic hit because they were all kind of used, and I don't know if I'm gonna buy them again. Here, back over here.
Is that are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. A phone call came in and just.
Yeah, so just in case we're talking about selling construction blankets, so the insulated construction tarps, and we actually made quite a bit of money selling those. Sorry, renting those out. It's crazy that you can rent those things out, but we did. I need to find like when I first got them, I got them used, and I still rented them out. But I got a good used batch. I noticed it's hard to find a good used batch, and buying them new is kind of expensive, like $60, $65 new. You could probably go down to 45 if you buy them from China. Um, but and then you can rent them out for like 12 or 15 per week. If you find the right clients, and that's kind of in the 4 months, 3 months during winter time. So you don't get too much kind of use out of them because it's definitely winter. But we're up in here in Canada, so people definitely do use those insulated construction tarps, and it's an interesting rent out item.
Yeah, I know nothing about that. I was always kind of wondering, but I don't even have enough space for my drop cloth tarps. So,
like we had like 140 of them or something, and like last season we rented them to a construction site for like a month and a half. We gave them a big discount, but it ended up being like $5,000 for like 3 hours of work. So like an hour and a half of loading and an hour and a half unloading. Okay, maybe a bit more because we had to like stuff it into shipping containers and whatnot. But it was a real decent job. Take it easy, Chris. So construction blankets, insulated construction blankets. People want to like they're working on a building. They want to stucco it. They want to paint it. They want to do exterior work. Usually, they put scaffolding on it, and then they surround that scaffolding with insulated construction tarps, and then they heat the area so they can still do work sort of midwinter. So that's what insulated. They're also used a lot for concrete hoarding. So if you're doing concrete work and you want to do it in the wintertime, cover it in construction blankets, and then you run heat into it. So anybody who wants to do winter construction, outdoor winter construction, they need insulated construction tarps and heaters.
Another cool idea for possibly winter, it might be summer, winter. You guys might think I'm crazy, but when those new gaming systems come out, I'm going to pre-order some and I'm going to buy them and rent them out. I actually have to check to see when they're coming out because they're coming out soon, right? Because everyone's going to want them when they're in demand.
What new gaming systems?
Like the PS5 and when they come out, everyone wants them, right? And you can't get them because they limit the certain amount of numbers, right? So if you pre-order them, then you just rent them out. People want to try them. So I think that's the techie in me really wants to go there. So VR headsets with them, some of that Fruit Ninja. I don't know.
What do you see Frank's comment?
You guys thought of manufacturing chairs and tables. We've talked about this. Me and Les have literally talked about everything. Yes, we have talked about manufacturing tables.
Yeah, and then just in case, is kind of getting along the line. Like, even if we're not manufacturing, like we could be distributing them, But it's easier said than done. And I suppose, like, it'd be nice to have a source for them. If we're distributing them, we want a good source to get them, like a cheap source we can get them from. And also, if we're manufacturing them, I mean, that's a different story. I think we need a lot of money for gear. We probably wouldn't like. You know what I mean? Like, how do you make those chairs? You have like a plastic mold. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's very expensive. James says, any ideas on how to grow side businesses when I have a full-time job? This summer, most weekends. Go on.
Yeah, do exactly what I did. I built my system to be completely self-serving. Everything that I do could probably be done on a part-time basis if you kind of follow what I've done in my channel. It's just follow what I do. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I had to make it work. So I just built all these processes until it came something that pretty much is self-reliant. So I guess, and start with like just easy stuff, tables and chairs.
Yeah, tables, chairs on Kijiji and Facebook. Post them. Say I have a few. Come rent them. Get waves. It's free. Wave invoicing. You can just create an invoice, send it to them. The people can pay by credit card right away. and you got the ball rolling. So that's all you got to do. I guess you could go out, buy some tables, chairs, or tents. If you're renting or you're doing event rentals, then those are the items that are most popular. Just the basics, basic tables, basic chairs. If you're getting chairs, get like medium gray. That's very popular. White's very popular for weddings. Black is not very popular. So don't get black. Some people think black will be popular. Black is not popular. White chairs are always popular during weddings. I mentioned that, but I'm mentioning it again because it's very true. Let's travel to China. Yeah, I mean, we should all go in a big gang to China. But it's weird. Like, I mean, man, you make a mistake and they'll keep you there for like you're done. So it's kind of scary. But maybe I'm blowing it out of proportion. The media kind of shows a few people have been like incarcerated there, and then I get scared, of going there. But
which is any country pretty much except for Canada.
Yeah, right? Like Thailand, a lot of people are in jails in Thailand, right? Like probably like thousands, if not more. But usually, I guess it's like drug related most of the time. But yeah, man, it would suck. But in China, like if you get in jail in China, they'll eventually kill you. Like it's in Thailand, I think you'll get released after 20 years. In China, they just they just end you.
Easier
maybe I'm wrong. But, yeah. Okay, guys. So let's call it a day. That was a good hour, maybe just under. Good chatting. And let's do this next Wednesday or something. I think Wednesdays are good. They're like the least busy day for kind of event people, and we can have this as like most Wednesdays, like a regular thing. What do you say to that, Lee?
Definitely. I want to let everyone on the channel know that the likes are very important for us so that these live streams get seen. YouTube likes when you press that like button on stuff, and then it shows more people. So, and then the more traction we get on these videos, we're just going to keep doing them. And because I mean, this is awesome, right? I hope you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying this. I could talk about rentals all day long, and actually let's do. This is just us on camera. This is like us normally. So
right. That's what we talked about. I know
we're obsessed.
We're keeners. And there's a lot of good questions here. Next Wednesday, we'll get to them. And guys, thanks for stopping in and watching us. And we'll see you next Wednesday.
And you stay classy.
Stay classy. Let's get some business done.